I want to see gravel before that. Just some single trail. So we can go do some virtual bike packing. Now, hey, Rides of Japan, I've got a content idea for you, mate. Just as a bit of fun. Do some virtual bike packing on Zwift. So get your bike all set up like you do for bike packing, and then ride for an hour, turn your lights off, set your tent up next to your trainer, camp out, have your little avatar pull off to the side, and then brew some coffee, have some breakfast, turn your lights back on slowly, and then you ride for another hour. Virtual bike packing. I think Rides of Japan, everyone, does everyone agree Rides of Japan should do something similar to that? I'd watch that. Just an idea, no pressure.
Alright, so somehow I ended up outside anyway, but just so anyone doesn't freak out, this is just my local hill. Here in Japan we're still able to go out and ride if you want to. We are not locked down in that kind of way. A couple of weeks now inside on a trainer. I just wanted some fresh air, so I thought why not take all the gear and have a mini nap. And I don't really have to worry about the meeting people here outside in the forest either. And it also made me think about one thing that I have been wanting to do a video about for some time, or I was looking forward to making this video starting off the bikepacking season. Of course, this is not a proper bikepacking trip, but I still wanted to test this out in the field. And that is my new minimalistic cook kit. Maybe you see my other videos when I showed this Stanley cook pot, and I have all my canister and the stove, canister stove. This is not super lightweight or anything. It's probably what I would recommend to anyone thinking about putting together a cook kit for bikepacking. A canister stove, you know, gas, you have some control over the fire, you can simmer stuff, and yeah, it's just very convenient. But during the winter, I've been super obsessed and researching a lot of camping gear in particular. And when it comes to camping gear, there's no other people, that sounds weird, that or another group of individuals that you can get inspiration from when it comes to lightweight and compact camping gear than the thru hikers. So if you're into this stuff like me, the thru hikers is the guys we can get all the nice tips from when it comes to this kinds of stuff. Now I put together this super tiny little pot. And inside, let me see if I can switch this camera around. I forgot to bring the tripod, so apologies. Like I said, this is the one I usually use, and this is my new kit, my minimalistic kit. And the reason I wanted to do this minimalistic kit is not really for the big bike packing trips, to be honest. But I can fit this in my smaller frame bag without it interfering with my pedaling. So I can actually bring this little kit out on a long all-day ride, for example, and stop at some mountain pass, have a cup of coffee or something like that. So the pot is a, what is it, WHQ titanium, 450 milliliter. Realistically, you won't really do anything more than 300 milliliters. So, in this cup, I have my usual stuff, something to wipe with, a little sponge, and this is at least temporary. This is the fuel I'm going to use for the stove, which you might have figured out already that it's an alcohol stove. So this is 1 cup of water, and I have another one, same size. I think this is 30 milliliters. So this will basically boil 1 cup of coffee each. So I have 2 cups or whatever I want to do. I have a little cross stand for the stove and a windscreen homemade. As you might see, this is actually a old Pepsi Coke thingamajig. If you want to know how to make this, check out my Instagram. On my profile I have a story series there about how I did this, super simple. And inside here I have the stove, which is the Evernew titanium stove, Japanese brand. So of course I forgot my goddamn tripod, so this might be a little bit sketchy, propping up the camera on my shoes. So as you can imagine, it's not very difficult to operate one of these stoves. Instead, you just need to put the fuel in, and if you put some around here, prime it or whatever they want to call it. Now it's blooming, full go. We can put our little order. Let's see if we can make some lunch. So like I said, I only put like 30 millimeters of fuel in, and that's just about enough to make 1 cup of, well, this is a bit, maybe 350 milliliters of water to a boil. You can of course put more. I think you can put up to 60 milliliters in this stove. That's if you're using a bigger pot. This wind chill would definitely help though. If it's windy outside, it will be a lot harder to get this to boil. And there we go. So pretty much as planned. And the good thing about this titanium setup is both the cup and the stove itself will get cool pretty damn quick. When I tried this inside, it took about 3 minutes. Then I could easily grab the stove itself and put it down. And there I heard the last bit of flame go out. So we have a boil, good stuff. And what should we do with this? Well, of course, we're gonna have some noodles. Here we go. Let this sit for a while, and then it's time for lunch. Come on. See, I can already grab the cup, and the handle is not even that hot anymore. So that's good. And even if I touch this is still a bit warm, but I mean, yeah, 3-4 minutes and I can easily handle the stove without burning my fingers off. I don't know if that has to do with the titanium material or whatever, but I was surprised it cooled down that fast once it was over. How's my lunch coming along? Look at that. Look at that. Lunch. So this is my usual cooking setup. Canister stove, the BRS 3000 titanium stove attached to the canister. Super cheap, and this is definitely the setup that makes most sense for bikepacking, I think. As long as you don't really are tight for space. But I gotta say, this is so much more fun to play around with. And it's all about fun in the end. But just to point out why you would pick anything over the other, this, you can control the flame. Turn the gas on, and then you can control the flame, you can turn it off, you can simmer. It's convenient in every kind of way. And it's not like it's super heavy or anything. If you get a smaller pot, that will bring the weight down a bit more. But you can't really fit the whole system in this pot, for example, because this canister won't fit in this one. And like I said, the reason I put together this kit was to be able to have it with me on non-bikepacking trips without it taking up too much space. I don't want to have it in a big saddle bag or anything, just in my small frame bag, and that works perfect for that. The price for this kit is not that bad. I don't have it in my head now, but I will put it on the screen, as well as the price for this kit and all the stuff, and check the description as well for all the links if you want to buy this yourself. So just to show you how neatly this all packs up, take my little windscreen, put it in the cup, can take off the cross stand. Oh, I forgot actually to say this. This cross stand is also Evernew, it's made for this stove, but it works on other stoves as well. But I had to cut the ends a bit just to make sure it actually fit standing in my cup. But anyway, the stove goes in the bottom, the cross stand there on the side. I got my 1 bottle of fuel, goes in the middle down there, and then I can also fit another one, which the one I used. Maybe a little sponge for cleaning, some paper towels or something like that to keep everything from rattling, hopefully. The lid goes on, and then I just have a little rubber band to keep it all together. And doing this one-handed is not easy. There we go. And you can actually put that rubber band a bit better around over the flap so that it doesn't flap around. So that is the kit. I'm super stoked with this. It's so much fun for some reason. I don't know why. Same goes for the canister stove. Goes in the little pouch. Put this on just in case. That goes face down like that. That goes this. And from the same I have my sponge and my other stuff. The one thing this actually fits is my lighter. I can fit the lighter in there. This lighter will not fit in here. So I will just carry this separately until I found something other I can fit in this. But yeah. Lid goes on. And the good thing about this locks in place. So once you have a little more stuff inside, it doesn't rattle around so much. I don't know if anyone is so much into stoves like I am, especially since I'm not really able to camp that much, but I just love messing around with this stuff. So, time for our gourmet coffee. Ooh. I just realized I put in too much water, but I bet this coffee will still be better than any fancy milk with the coffee taste drink you can buy out there. Ooh. Yep, cup is still pretty warm. Before I pack up and go home, I just need to take my afternoon nap. I know I'm kind of backwards in the tent right now, but it's good enough for a quick nap before it's time to ride home.